This presentation will show you how to properly MLA format an assignment. My name is Laura Hand, and I am a Ridley College graduate and tutor in the Reading and Writing Center. The MLA Handbook 8th edition by Diana Hacker and Nancy Somers will be used for all references in this presentation. As a college student, you will be expected to know how to properly MLA format your essays and other assignments. MLA is the most common and preferred method for formatting your assignments, so becoming familiar with this style and this handbook is essential. All instructions in this presentation will be for formatting in Microsoft Word, not Google Docs. This presentation will show you the basics for how to create an MLA formatted document, how to create a template from that document, how to create an in-text quotation or citation, and how to format a works cited page. Setting up your document in the downloaded version of Microsoft Word. These instructions will be for the full version of Microsoft Word, not the free online version of Microsoft Word. However, the settings are very similar. First, you will need to open your document, select New Blank Document. There is a template in Microsoft Word for MLA formatting. However, I advise against using it because it will import several items and information that you will have to delete later. Here are some basic instructions for how to MLA format your document. You will need to set your margins to 1 inch all around. You will need to insert your last name and page number in the upper right-hand corner. You will need to type the appropriate left-hand margin headings. You will need to center your title. You will start your introductory paragraph and all subsequent paragraphs by indenting 1/2 inch by using the tab button, not spacing. You will need to set your line spacing in the paragraph settings tab so that the before and after spacing is set to 0, the line spacing is set to double, and the body of the text will not have extra space between paragraphs. The following video will show you these steps in real time. So to begin, we want to open Microsoft Word. As I said, there is an MLA template. However, I recommend using a blank document instead. Once our document is open, we're going to check our margins by going to the Layout tab, selecting Margins, and in the drop-down, making sure that normal 1 inch is selected. Next, we're going to insert our last name and page number by double-clicking on the upper right-hand corner to open the header. Then we're going to go to page numbers. We want a top of page, and then we want plain number 3. Then you will type your last name and make sure that there's a space between your name and the number. You will highlight everything and change the font to Times New Roman and the size to 12. Once you've adjusted the font and size, we can go ahead and close the header and footer. And as you can see, it's a slightly lighter color now because it's closed. You will then begin typing your left-hand margin heading, which includes your name, your professor's name, the class that you were in. Some instructors like you to put the day and time that your class meets, and others prefer the 5-digit course code, so you will need to ask your instructor which version they prefer. After the class comes the date, which is day, month, year with no punctuation, followed by the title of your assignment, and then the starting of the body of your assignment. I'm just typing in placeholders so that you can see the adjustments that I make. So what we want to do is we want to indent the first line of our paragraph by using the tab key. Then we're going to use the centering function to center our title. And then we're going to adjust the font to Times New Roman and the size to 12. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the paragraph settings, open the dialog box, And then we want to make sure our spacing is set to before is 0, after is going to be set to 0 as well. Our line spacing will be set to double. And we want to select don't add space between paragraphs of the same style, then click OK. As you can see, our spacing has changed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a template. So you want to go to File, and you want to go to Save As, and then you want to click on this PC, and then the file Custom Office Templates, and then save it as MLA Template. Doing this will allow you to open this template as many times as you need instead of having to reset all of these settings. So now we're going to close the document, and I'm going to show you how to find the template once you've created it. So we're going to open Word again, and this time on the home screen we're going to search for our MLA template. As you can see, it has appeared, so you click on that, and now the template we just created has opened. Now to start a new assignment from this template, what you want to do is you want to go to File again, go to Save As, and this time you want to open whatever folder you want your assignment to be saved in. I'm going to save mine in one of my instructor folders. And then you want to save it as whatever the title of your assignment is. So I'm going to name this one Essay 1 and click Save. And now you can see the title of this document has changed to Essay 1, and it will not affect your template. So you can reuse your template as many times as you need. By changing the assignment name, we now know that this is Essay 1, our rough draft, and you can go ahead and click Save, and you're ready to go with your MLA formatting. So here are just a few examples of in-text citations. On the left in green is an example of a paraphrase where I have not directly quoted anything from my primary source. However, I have taken some of the ideas from that source and put them in my own words. So you can see here at the end of my paraphrase, in parentheses, I have the last name of the author and the page number where I got this information from. However, I have put everything in my own words. I have not directly quoted anything. So there's no need for quotation marks with this kind of in-text citation. Below that in blue is an example of a quotation using a signal phrase. In my signal phrase, I have the name of the source as well as the last name of the author. And then the direct quotation is inside quotation marks. And then following that, I have the page number in parentheses and then the period. On the right in yellow, another example of a signal phrase citation. In this citation, however, I have the name of the source, the full name of the author, as well as the author's credentials before my quotation. And then the actual quotation itself is in quotation marks, and then I have followed that by the page number in parentheses. So these are just 3 examples of how you can do an in-text citation. There are a dozen more examples in the MLA 8th edition handbook if you want to do a citation differently or your source material requires a different formatting. So setting up an MLA formatted works cited page or annotated bibliography. Generally, your works cited or annotated bibliography will be the final page of your assignment. However, some instructors might ask you to submit it separately, in which case you will follow all of the same MLA formatting steps discussed in the previous video, as well as the ones I'm about to show you. You will want to make sure that your works cited page is alphabetized by the author's last name or the first word of the source if there is no author. You want to make sure that your works cited has a hanging indent that is set by using the hanging indent function, not the tab or spacebar buttons. You also want to make sure that your citations include all of the necessary information and that they are punctuated correctly. The MLA handbook has dozens of citation examples that walks you through the exact information you need for each type of source and how to punctuate them correctly. If you have any questions or are unsure how to cite something, you can either consult the MLA handbook, a website such as the MLA.com or Purdue OWL, or discuss this with your tutor for more information. This video, I will show you the basics of how to do the hanging indent, as well as making sure your spacing is MLA formatted. So I already have a works cited document open. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, I have the last name and page number and then my citations. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that your entire works cited page is in Times New Roman and that it's in size 12. Then the title, Works Cited, should be centered using the centering function. It does not need to be bolded or underlined or anything special stylistically. You want to make sure that your citations are left margin justified before we set the hanging indent. Once again, you will open the paragraph settings, and this time you will go to indentation, and under special, you will select hanging. And as you can see, it has automatically indented the second line of every source citation. Now we're going to double check our MLA formatting. So again, just to check, make sure it's set to hanging. Your before spacing should be 0, your after spacing should be 0, your line spacing should be double, and you don't want space between paragraphs. Now you can see that our spacing is set correctly. All of the citations are alphabetized by the author's last name. And here in the middle of the screen, you can see these 3 dash marks. This is a way to cite multiple sources from the same author. So this citation right here, In the Station at the Metro, is actually by Ezra Pound as well. So when you have multiple sources from the same author, you can use this format to cite something like that. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope that gives you a better understanding of how to properly set up an MLA formatted assignment. And from all of us at the Reading and Writing Center, we wish you the best of luck this semester.